welcome to the Ocala area. We are in Denellen. We're gonna start off the day by eating some gator nuggets. And yes, you can eat alligator, and yes, it is delicious. Alright guys, we're gonna roll. We gotta pick which one of these we want to jump into today. Nobody does trucks quite like the Americans. We gotta pick which one of these we're gonna hop in, the Jeep or the GM. Yeah, buddy. Nobody does trucks quite like the Americans. Dude. Alright guys, we're in Levy County, which is where Cedar Key sits. We're going to try to get you guys as close to Cedar Key as possible. As we know, Cedar Key had a 15-foot storm surge, so it's not accessible. But some of these areas here will be accessible, and we're going to do the best we can to get you close to the area of destruction. We are at least in Levy County. Welcome to Inglis, Florida. Basically, where Highway 40 meets 19, this is Inglis. I mean, there really ain't much to this place. It's small. But unfortunately, Inglis is by the Withlacoochee River, which tends to get a lot of storm surge. Alright everybody, so this is the entrance to Yankeetown. Now, Yankeetown is currently out of bounds. If you're not a local, you cannot enter Yankeetown. This is a beautiful area. However, despite the beauty of this area, it is prone to storm surge flooding. But this is about as far as we're going to get today. They told us if we come back tomorrow, they may let the press in tomorrow, but I don't think it's worth the effort. Storm surge flooding is actually fairly common here in Yankeetown. In fact, I believe the last time we were in Yankeetown, we were covering exactly the same thing, storm surge flooding. So it's not very strange. Yankeetown has suffered back-to-back many times the difficulties of being on the Withlacoochee River. So since we're in the area, I want to show you guys some curiosities. Now this building here is made out of the natural stones from when they dug the canal that is in this area. This building has been in this condition now for just about, well, for as long as I can remember, this building has looked like this. Since the first time we came into this area and did a video, this is what this building has looked like. It's made out of natural stones, and you can see it's actually a beautiful building, but it is somewhat of a condition of disrepair. And well, every time I come to this area, this building always seems to draw my attention. It's just a unique and different building. And when I lived in Naples, Florida, I actually built planters for my mango trees out of limestone rock with the same exact method as this. So it's very interesting to see that. This here is the Withlacoochee River, the source of today's flooding. Alright guys, so we're leaving behind Levy County, which is mostly inaccessible. And we're going to hop on over to Citrus County and see what's going on over there. See the water line on that mobile home? It looks like it didn't come all the way up. So you're probably wondering why there is a gigantic, perfectly straight canal here in Citrus County, just outside of the Levy County line. And the answer is simple, and I know this sounds like a made-up story, but it's actually true. The state of Florida wanted to create a barge canal that would cross the state of Florida from one end to the other. However, they discovered after they started the project that, well, it's not possible because of 1,000 reasons, mostly ecological and infrastructure reasons. that got in the way. So now the state of Florida is stuck with a perfectly straight canal that was an abandoned project. They never completed it after spending God knows how much money they spent trying to do this. They quit on it. The problem was that it cracked the aquifer and it led to a lot of environmental problems. So basically, they started this engineering project, but they didn't do the proper ecological research before they started. So they ended up with a project that started, but they were never able to finish. Basically, it became clear that trying to make a canal to cross the state of Florida from one end to the other for barges made absolutely no sense. And the project was eventually abandoned, leaving us with, well, this monstrosity. And you can tell just by the size of the bridge, the type of project that this was. And again, it was a project that led to absolutely nothing, apparently. Turns out the state of Florida has this thing called an aquifer, and it's actually impossible to do a project like this without pretty much ruining the entire state. But the state of Florida has been trying to ruin the state for decades now. So this is just another monumental example of how the state of Florida will spend billions of dollars on projects that lead to absolutely nothing. Guys, welcome to Crystal River. You can see the watermark right there on the car dealership. So this hotel here, facing US 19, would have had about 2 feet of water in it. All right, guys, and you know, the sad thing about Crystal River is that we were here about a year ago covering the same exact event, only now it's even higher, which means that the people that just fixed their properties less than a year ago are now facing the same exact nightmare. Could you imagine that just a year ago these people had their homes flooded here in Crystal River, and here we are again now with the same exact nightmare? Guys, just so you can understand, if you look at this house here, you'll notice that the water line is at about 5 feet to that window. In fact, where we are standing now, my vehicle would have water almost to the ceiling. All these houses here had water just about to the window. And now that we're day 3 into this, the smell of water rotting is everywhere. I believe the storm surge here must have been, I don't know, 10, 12 feet. It's hard to tell from here. Another thing that I've noticed here that I haven't seen in other places is people collecting scrap metal. Everything that people own. Piles of debris, literally 10 foot high. It's just people's houses smell like that. And then it gets wet and then it spills on the street. Poor little guy, he hurt his leg. Just realized that this little bird right here, he hurt his leg. He was just kind of stumbling. Poor little guy broke his leg. So where we are now in Crystal River, there was 4 feet of water, and there's also some tree damage. You can see this branch fell here, and had there been cars parked here, well, this would have been enough to... And obviously the smell of this water is just horrendous. Here you can see how all the garbage just piled up against this little bridge. And what's crazy is just to think of... I'm sorry, the smell is just... I can't even talk right now. Kitty's in the car and she's just choking out. You can hear her coughing. The smell is just very toxic, septic. The other thing about this place is this place has a bad vibe. The people are just so, like, just passive-aggressive behaviors. We were in St. Pete and Clearwater yesterday, and the people were actually really fun, despite the fact they're in a difficult situation. You can see the water line in that house came to at least 4 feet right there. And there is still flooding here in a lot of places, the storm surge. I just feel like when we were in St. Pete and Clearwater yesterday, the people just have a better vibe. And I'm not talking, you know, a vibe is something, it's unspoken. It's something you can just feel. But the people in St. Pete, they really had a better vibe than here. And they're dealing with the same exact situation. Okay, there's 2 down porta potties here. I can't begin to tell you how bad it stinks, but you can see the water line was 4 feet to the garage. So where the car is right now, my truck would be completely submerged in water here. You can see in this new construction, the water came to about 4 feet. And you can see there roughly 4 feet. So we're a little bit below that. So where we are now on the road would be about 5 feet. And Crystal River is one of the most beautiful cities in Florida. It's a shame. You know, why did this have to happen here? Why couldn't this have happened in Titusville? There's a large tree that fell over. And this is really the problem with the Big Bend region. It's always getting these problems. And there are people screaming and angry. This is kind of what happens with these hurricanes. People just get really angry. So you can hear that person screaming and cursing, and unfortunately, a lot of people just lose their wits. I mean, no electricity, no water, everything they have destroyed. A lot of people just get really angry and frustrated. Not everybody, but some people really can't handle the pressure. While covering the aftermath of other hurricanes, we've even had people follow our vehicle and try to assault us. So some people, they really lose their minds after losing everything. But, you know, you shouldn't really be attached to your material possessions. It's nice to have them, but they shouldn't define who you are as a person. Obviously, but now the smell is becoming bad. It's only going to get worse. And let's not forget that, well, Crystal River is an incredible place of businesses like this. There's stuff like this. Now, I don't think this boat came from somewhere else. I think this boat was already here, but it tipped over is what I think happened here. I think it's one of those things that looks more dramatic than what it actually is, because this boat was already here. It just tipped over. This is downtown Crystal River, one of the most beautiful downtowns in Florida. And while the businesses try to put up sandbags to prevent the flooding, it doesn't seem like there was a lot that could be done. And the crazy thing is that about a year ago, they had the same thing happen just a year later, these businesses are facing the same problem. I love this city. Here they have the cattle dog. Oh no, my tire. Ah. Oh no. Oh no, no. We're okay because I have a very heavy duty thread on these tires. But I think we might have cut into the thread. I'm not sure. This right here. Oh, it's kind of loose. We're good. It's kind of loose. Good thing. Like the last thing you want right now is on a Sunday. But here's one of the most beautiful downtowns in Florida. Had a 4-foot storm surge through their downtown. And again, the saddest part is how recently they had this happen. I mean, basically the businesses that are here, they might as well just get used to the notion that this is normal. You can see the water line right there at about 4 feet. Oh, buddy, look at that truck going down the road, man. If you love seeing destruction, move to Florida. Again, despite how beautiful this area of Florida is, it's absolutely gorgeous little area. For some reason, I don't get, the people here just have a bad vibe. And I've noticed it throughout the entirety of the day today. The vibe here has been horrible. And I've noticed it on other trips. People are here, they're more road raging. You see people road raging other people. And I've always wondered what's behind the anger of people in this area. And well, I think I've come to the answer. I think a lot of people here are drugged out. And the drugs make them very angry. And that probably explains why the people in this area are so angry and road raging. You think living in a place this beautiful, the people would be calm and chill, but there are people living here are plagued with anger. Lots of them. Why they hating on me, dog? Beautiful and touristy, yet life can be so difficult here. Am I in the water? Excuse me, ma'am. You cannot have chickens here.